There was once a young man who often looked at the people around him and felt unhappy. He would see someone with more money and think he was poor. He would see someone with more friends and feel lonely. He would see someone who achieved success earlier than him and think he was falling behind. Day after day, he allowed these thoughts to steal his peace. He told himself that if he could only be like others, then he would be happy. But no matter how hard he tried, there was always someone ahead of him. He worked harder, but he felt that others were still doing better. He prayed for more, but he could not see what he already had. Slowly, his heart grew restless because he kept comparing himself to everyone else. One afternoon, he sat quietly in the yard, lost in his thoughts. His grandfather noticed his troubled face and came to sit beside him. The grandfather asked, "Why do you look so heavy-hearted, my son?" The young man sighed and replied, "I keep looking at others, and they always seem ahead of me. Some have more money, some have more success, and some seem happier. When I see them, I feel small, like I am not good enough." The grandfather listened for a while, then pointed toward the garden where a mango tree stood beside a small guava tree. He said, "Look at those two trees. The mango tree will give fruit in the summer, but the guava tree will give fruit in the winter. Now tell me, which one is better?" The young man looked and said, "I don't know. They both give fruit, but at different times." His grandfather smiled and said, "Exactly. Each tree has its own season. If the guava tree spends its time wishing to be like the mango, it will lose its own fruit. In the same way, if the mango tree envies the guava, it will forget that its time will come too. Each grows and gives fruit in its own time. There is no need for comparison." The young man grew quiet. For the first time, he understood that just like those trees, people also have different timings. Some succeed early and some later, but each has their own season written by God. His grandfather placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "My son, your time will come. Stop looking at others. Be patient and keep growing in your own season. God has given you blessings already, and more will come when it is your time." The young man thought deeply about it. He realized he had been blind to his own gifts. He remembered his health, his family, and the good things already in his life. He understood now that comparing himself to others only made him restless, while gratitude brought him peace. From that day on, he tried to live with more thankfulness. When he saw others succeed, he reminded himself, "They are in their season, and mine will come too." When envy rose in his heart, he thought of the mango and the guava tree, each bearing fruit in its own time. The lesson was clear. Comparison steals joy, but gratitude brings it back. Happiness was never in being like others. It was in living his own life with trust and thankfulness. And so he stopped comparing himself and started walking his own path with peace.